I'd like to welcome everybody back to the Independent Investor channel. We're going to be rolling out a promotional video on Uranium Energy Core. This was a fascinating company. It's up 185% here year to date. And I did a deep dive, read a lot of analyst reviews. A lot of them have a buy rating on the stock here, trading at about $2.60 at the time of filming this video. A lot of buy ratings across the board, which have the price targets actually doubling the stock from these levels. So I'm going to be providing all of the information that was used in the making of this video in the description below for you guys. And I will be providing the disclaimer in its entirety in the description below. I would invite you to review that at your leisure. But this was an amazing company here. We, as the United States, have been using nuclear energy for the last 6 decades. And there was a lot that I did not know in reviewing this company. And Uranium Energy Core is poised to be able to produce and meet the demands on uranium, which has been created by what's being considered a black swan event here, coming out of a 9-year bear market on uranium. So not only have the prices been artificially driven down over the last decade or so, but production has fallen off the line as well. So companies that like Uranium Energy Core that are domestically based here are set up really, really well to actually meet the demands on uranium going forward. So with that, we're going to jump in and we're going to conduct the review, guys. Please enjoy. We're super excited to roll this opportunity out for you guys, and for awareness purposes, there was multiple documents that I referred to, some interviews that were used in the production of this awareness video on Uranium Energy Core. Very, very exciting times here as uranium, as coming off about a 9-year bear market. It's been one of the last commodities since about 2011 to still be trading at what's considered to be a discount. Now, as of late, uranium has caught some fire here. And over the last year over year, this company, UEC, traded under the New York Stock Exchange, is up about 185%. And I think that could be just the beginning here. At the time of filming this video, the stock was trading at about $2.63. I did a deep dive on analyst covering the stock, and it seems that the consensus buy rating across the board really speaks to the potential here in what is deemed to be America's emerging uranium producer. And I think the biggest takeaway for viewers of this video is to understand a little bit more about uranium. And I think there's a lot of people out there that probably don't understand how reliant we are, not only here in the United States, but globally. The modern world needs nuclear power and the uranium that makes it possible. It's a viable alternative to high-polluting fossil fuel energy sources like petroleum and coal. Nuclear energy is a vital component to the world's energy ecosystem. Most people aren't even aware of how vital nuclear energy is to their daily lives. In particular, nuclear energy currently provides about 10% of the world's electricity from about 440 power reactors. Around 50 reactors are under construction. Nuclear energy is the world's second largest source of low-carbon power. Over 50 countries use nuclear energy in about 220 research reactors. Civil nuclear energy power can now boast more than 17,000 reactor years of experience, and 12 countries produce at least 25% of their electricity from nuclear energy as of 2019. Very important to draw a distinction between those companies, few as they are, that are fully permitted and can go right to production in their uranium projects, whereas a lot of other companies out there may just be in the development stage and years away from actually coming to full production. The installation of the new U.S. government administration is expected to result in new opportunities for the nuclear energy market as a vital component of the current government-supported clean energy movement. Nuclear energy is ideal for the new administration zero carbon vision, since the U.S. could conceivably eliminate the vast majority of fossil fuel use by replacing coal, gas, and oil-based power plants with nuclear ones. Heading into 2021, uranium is still on the move. Here are some of the possible contributing factors that could result in an appreciation in the uranium price: the pro-environment initiatives, the intense demand versus the supply crunch, and deglobalization. In South Texas, UEC's operations are anchored by its fully licensed Hobson processing facility, which is central to the company's Palangana, Burke Hollow, and Goliad ISR, which is in situ recovery projects. Meanwhile, in Wyoming, UEC controls the Reno Creek project, which is the largest permitted pre-construction ISR uranium project in the U.S. So what has happened over the course of the last 9-year bear market in uranium? It's opened up somewhat of an opportunity to obtain physical uranium. This slide speaks to UEC's creative incentive to go after and warehouse uranium in drums to store it for the futures market to sell at about $30 per pound of uranium, so they could obtain it with the artificially low prices of the uranium. It was just cheaper to go ahead and buy the drums and warehouse it. As the price increases, they would have had that on storage in the warehouse, ready to go to embolden the balance sheet and also to fund future projects. And just to highlight the Reno Creek ISR project, which is the largest permitted pre-construction ISR uranium project in the U.S., has strategic location within the heart of the Powder River Basin in Wyoming, and it has received a modified permit to construct in 2019, thereby allowing the construction of the central processing plant and ISR well fields. So as a member of the Russell 3000 Index, UEC boasts an extremely healthy set of financials here. First and foremost, $123 million on the balance sheet, relatively light debt at $10 million, very manageable, and a market cap of $730 million, approaching that $1 billion market cap. And you can see there at the top investors here in UEC, BlackRock and Vanguard, State Street, just to name a few. So a lot of the major players here have ownership in uranium energy. So just at a glance here, this really looks attractive on the financials. UEC is run by Amir Adnani, founder, CEO of UEC, and founder and chairman of Gold Mining Inc., with extensive experience in building natural resource companies from the ground up. Mr. Adnani has been selected as one of mining's featured leaders by Mining Journal, a UK-based global industry publication. Fortune magazine distinguished him on their 40 under 40 ones to watch list of North American executives. He was also a finalist for Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year distinction. The Hobson processing plant is central to all of UEC's ISR projects in South Texas. The plant is designed to process uranium-loaded resins from satellite mines to a final product. Uranium Energy Corp has a major competitive advantage with the company's low-cost, environmentally friendly ISR mining technology at its fully licensed projects, including its Palangana, Burke Hollow, Goliad, and Reno Creek uranium projects. The Palangana mine, located in the South Texas Uranium Belt, which has over 4,000 historic exploration, development, and production holes drilled at the mine by Union Carbide Corp., Chevron, and Everest Exploration Inc. In the process of ISR mining, UEC uses a mining methodology that reverses the natural process that has resulted in the deposit of uranium in sandstone. On-site groundwater is fortified with gaseous oxygen and introduced to the uranium ore body through a pattern of injection wells. The solution dissolves the uranium from the sandstone host. Uranium Energy Corps has been able to target properties for acquisition that have already been the subject of significant exploration and development by senior energy companies in the past. In Burke Hollow, the first production area is currently identified as the newest and largest ISR well field being developed in the U.S. 6 trends have been identified at the Burke Hollow project since 2012, and leach amenability testing indicates recovery greater than 90%, plus 50% of the property at Burke Hollow remains unexplored. Final permits at the site have been obtained for the mine production area, including for 2 Class 1 disposal wells, an aquifer exemption, and a radioactive materials permit. Today, there are plans to complete all the exterior and interior wells at the Burke Hollow site, including the installation of around 45 additional monitor wells. Permitting activities at Burke Hollow will include sampling and pumping tests in anticipation of commencing production activities. The Reno Creek ISR project, which is the largest permitted pre-construction ISR uranium project in the U.S., has a strategic location within the heart of the Powder River Basin in Wyoming, and it has received a modified permit to construct in 2019, thereby allowing the construction of the central processing plant and ISR well fields. Just an overlay here of the Reno Creek project timeline, which has pushed us up to the permit that was issued in 2019 to allow for a move forward with construction of the CPP and ISR well fields. Altogether, these and other uranium-rich projects add up to a robust pipeline of fully licensed, low-cost ISR projects with a potential production profile of 4 million pounds per year in Texas and Wyoming. Nuclear power plants are considered more reliable and efficient because they require less maintenance and are designed to operate for longer stretches before refueling, typically every 1.5 or 2 years. At the same time, natural gas and coal capacity factors are generally lower due to routine maintenance and/or refueling at these facilities. In America, nuclear power has been used for over 6 full decades to provide constant, reliable, and carbon-free energy. Nuclear power plants are producing maximum power more than 93% of the time during the year. That's about 1.5 to 2 times more reliable than natural gas and coal units, and 2.5 to 3.5 times more reliable than wind and solar plants. The modern world needs nuclear power and the uranium that makes it possible. It's a viable alternative to high-polluting fossil fuel energy sources like petroleum and coal. Nuclear energy is a vital component of the world's energy ecosystem. Most people aren't even aware of how vital nuclear energy is to their daily lives. In particular, nuclear energy currently provides about 10% of the world's electricity from about 440 power reactors. Around 50 reactors are under construction. Nuclear energy is the world's second largest source of low-carbon power. Over 50 countries use nuclear energy in about 220 research reactors. Civil nuclear energy power can now boast more than 17,000 reactor years of experience. 12 countries produce at least 25% of their electricity from nuclear energy in 2019. The new U.S. administration has recently and explicitly laid out its green energy plans, which include modular nuclear reactors. Furthermore, the U.S. administration has vowed to identify the future of nuclear energy and, in furtherance thereof, to look at all low and zero carbon technologies, as well as supporting a research agenda through ARPA-C to look at various issues ranging from cost to safety to waste disposal systems that remain an ongoing challenge with nuclear power today. The current U.S. administration's mandate to support the nuclear energy industry seems relatively consistent from an employment perspective, and that each nuclear power plant employs between 500 to 1,000 workers. Building a nuclear power reactor employs up to 3,500 workers at peak construction. Nuclear workers' salaries are 20% higher on average than those of other electricity generating sources. The typical nuclear power plant creates $40 million in labor income each year. Uranium Energy Core has a major competitive advantage with the company's low-cost, environmentally friendly ISR mining technology at its fully licensed projects, including its Palangana, Burke Hollow, Goliad, and Reno Creek uranium projects, which were featured in the making of this video. This is a combined resource summary for UEC for your review. That concludes the investor presentation on Uranium Energy Core. I provide this last slide for contact information, further email contacts, and websites that you can find further information on Uranium Energy Core. And with that, we'll kick you back and we'll conclude the video.
All right, guys, so we've come out of the review for Uranium Energy Core. Really hope you guys appreciated the deep dive and time spent in this awareness video. This was a fascinating company to review, domestically based, with the current political environment and the bipartisan support for a nuclear initiative here. And I think the big takeaway for me was the education up. I didn't know we relied on nuclear energy in the capacity that we did. And I hope this really relates to a lot of people who may also not understand the demand that's put on nuclear, how reliable it is as an energy source, and most importantly, with the new initiatives on clean energy sources. You can't beat what the nuclear energy needs to produce, and uranium to produce that energy. So just a fascinating opportunity how the setup is unfolding for Uranium Energy Core going forward. So if you appreciate the information coming through, make sure and hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button on the video. That helps support the message, and leave your comments at the bottom of the video. If you had never heard of Uranium Energy Core, I hope you appreciated this awareness piece that we roll out to the greater independent investor community audience, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the message, and good luck in your investment future.